Okay, hey, this is Locke.
And this is Amanda.
Welcome to Dave's Creek Circuit. Okay, so we went to the Binna Burra section of Lamington National Park and did the Dave's Creek Circuit in August 2010. So we actually gave it a rating of 5 out of 5.
There it is now.
Okay. So yep.
Why is the walk so popular? Well, it's kind of interesting. Before we got into bushwalking, we had actually stayed at Binna Burra Mountain Lodge in October 2009, and it wasn't until obviously a year later when we went and actually did this walk. The lodge provides free guided walks for guests, and we noticed that the Dave's Creek Circuit was regularly on the itinerary at the Binna Burra Lodge. So when we walked the track, it was obvious why it was so popular. It's a 12-kilometre walk with an expected walking time of about 4 hours, but in that time you really do get a lot of bang for your buck. So it takes you through a rainforest, a eucalypt forest, open heathlands and a cave. And the Lamington lookout that's just coming up now, that gives you a fantastic panoramic view. And also, as we'll show later on, if you know where to find Surprise Rock, you can even get a view to the Gold Coast and out to the ocean.
Okay, so onto the track itself. The track starts not far from the Binna Burra Mountain Lodge, just past the campsite there. So that just came up. There is a car parking available for bushwalkers. The first part of the track is common to a number of walks in Binna Burra. When we got to the loop section, we followed the track in an anti-clockwise direction to see the Mongoli Cave, the Lamington Lookout and Surprise Rock.
So the Mongoli Cave is pretty easy to find because there's a sign on the track. The picture on the left is the view that you get just near the Mongoli Cave, and the picture in the middle is the rocky cliff face just above the cave. And then on the right, that's the cave itself, and I'm terribly sorry, that's the best photo I have of it. It's pretty dodgy, but anyway, Mongoli Cave, it's quite open. What's really special about it though is the sound of the water trickling down the walls of the cave and down to the ground. And initially when we were walking along the track just before we came to it, I'm embarrassed to say I was actually looking for some sort of little bush cabin or something like that, because I thought someone was having a shower somewhere in the distance.
Yeah, you could hear the water trickling in the distance. Okay, so the Lamington Lookout is also well signed. Here you get a fantastic panoramic view of the Lamington Valley. There it is. There's also a couple of houses in the Lamington Valley. This lookout can get quite busy, especially around lunchtime. So we also have a quick video of the review from the Lamington Lookout on the next slide coming up right now.
So then, still going in this direction, anti-clockwise in the loop section, if you continue past the Lamington Lookout for about 1 kilometre, you'll come to Surprise Rock. You really do need to keep your eyes peeled for a short track to the left. It leads to this rock that's a few metres high. You don't need to be a rock climber to get up and down it. You really do have to know about it to see it though. So we stayed up there for about 20 minutes. We heard a number of groups pass by on the track just below us. You are exposed to the direct sunlight up there, so it would be a nice place for lunch if it's a cooler day or if it's cloudy. Also, if you're like me and you don't like sitting on rock, bring along a towel in your backpack so that you can sit on that. And then actually Surprise Rock itself, when you're up there, this photo coming up at the moment is our attempt at showing you the shot over to the Gold Coast. Not sure what happened with that shot, if it was just our camera, but it did seem a bit easier to see over to the Gold Coast cityscape when we were actually there.
Okay, so where is Dave's Creek Circuit? As you can see there from the map, it's in the Binna Burra section, Lamington National Park in southeast Queensland. Okay, so it's about 2 hours drive from Brisbane, about 1 hour drive from surface. It's not too far, easy to get to as well. Okay, so yeah, you basically follow Binna Burra Road until it ends, and then there's a little bit of a car park, is it?
Yeah, a little bit of a car park, campsite, that sort of thing there.
Yeah.
Also, the thing that I like about this particular road is that it is sealed all the way until the end, and that's not something that you always get in national parks in Queensland. So that's it's nice.
And there's a little eatery.
There's a little tea house in there as well.
Top. Yeah, overlooking.
Yeah, just near it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so Dave's Creek Circuit, hot tips.
Okay, so here we go with hot tip number 1. So this track goes around some cliff faces, and the section, specifically the section just before the Morngallee Cave, it can be a bit slippery when wet, so be careful. If you are taking kids with you, make sure they're of an age where they're just not going to run off or anything, because like this would be a seriously stressful walk, if you took little kids.
Okay, hot tip number 2. There are a number of turn-offs to other tracks along the Dave's Creek track, so be sure to leave early enough in the day to get in as many walks as you think you can handle, basically. We did a side trip to the upper Balungi Falls track. This was in winter and there hadn't been much rainfall, so the waterfall was only really a trickle on the day we went, and we've got a bit of a video coming up on the next slide. Okay, so hot tip number 3.
Okay, and that is definitely come early and come prepared. Even if you are just doing Dave's Creek, make sure you bring plenty of food and water, because you're going to need it. It is a 4-hour walk. Also, just the obvious things like wear a hat and sunscreen. Also, bring some insect repellent. And I've just put, that photo of my shoes in the middle there. Don't wear thongs. We often see people, on these tracks trying to get around in thongs. Really not the best footwear. We found that due to the location of the sun in the sky, also the best lighting conditions on this track are really gone by about 3 o'clock. It does get a little bit shadowy after then. You really do want to be in and out of this track by 5 o'clock at the latest.
Okay, so hot tip number 4. Make sure you check out the National Parks website before you come to Binna Burra. The website is www.derm.qld.gov.au, as you can see there on the screen, just to check for any park closures or other alerts on the day that you're going to be doing your walk. So the website will also tell you what facilities there are at the Lamington National Park. So good site to visit.
Yeah, definitely. So hot tip number 5, if you are like us and prefer to know what the track will be like before you go, we'd recommend you use a guidebook. We personally, a couple of years ago, purchased Take a Walk in Southeast Queensland. We've used it on a number of our walks, and we've generally found that the information is helpful in terms of things like the difficulty of the track and also the estimated time for the walk. Also for Dave's Creek, they give you instructions on how to find Surprise Rock, and really for this walk that is kind of inside information, and it is the difference between this being a really nice walk compared to it being a spectacular one. So it's just always good to know what the track's going to be like before you get there.
Okay, so that's it for our hot tips. This is Locke.
And this is Amanda.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much.